Kelly Walker, the Queen of Manifesting, and we have a special guest today I'm super excited about. His name is Braden Wallake, and he has an amazing, interesting life. And I have invited him to be on here to talk about a couple different things. One is how you can be an entrepreneur with ADHD and kind of capitalize on that, see it as a gift. And then how to use LinkedIn, because I don't know about you guys, but LinkedIn is like the land of mystery to me. So, Braden, will you please introduce yourself to my listeners?
Sure. Conveniently, I didn't plan this, but I have Hyper right here, which is just like myself. So Braden Wallake. I currently live full-time in a custom converted camper van, work and live full-time. So it's pretty awesome the way it's set up. My bed usually converts into the desk. Right now we're parked in a city, so I haven't converted it today. So just working from my kitchen essentially, but living and working full-time since December in here with my girlfriend and my dog. Currently in Arizona. Arizona's getting extremely hot, so we're getting ready to head up to Utah into the mountains to cool down a little bit. We've also got a meteor shower tomorrow that we're going to go try and find some dark sky space to go take a look at and get some cool pictures and things like that. So yeah, so I'm from Ohio. Started my business, started really getting into entrepreneurship about, 5 years ago, but I started a business in 2016 and then rebranded recently in October 2019 to put a focus on B2B marketing. So marketing for businesses who sell products or services to other businesses. And that's where we are now.
That's awesome. How is van life?
Van life. It's the best thing I've ever done. To be honest, I wasn't sure about it. We found a company out of Kansas City called Van Do It, not to just plug them, but they are awesome. But they love the idea of vans because vans can get you a lot more places than RVs and, big campers and stuff like that. But in such a way, they know that there's a lot of space that's limited. So they have an entirely modular design, which is super cool. So basically my bed folds up, becomes my desk. Anything I want can be moved around. It can be hung up here. It can be moved up. My closet can move over 2 feet. I can raise the bed as high as I want. I can throw in a second bed frame. So I've got the ability day by day to say, okay, right now it's our bedroom. Then it becomes our dining room, then it becomes our living room, then it becomes our office, kind of a thing. So it's a way to get the flexibility of van life with the benefits of, having multiple rooms like you would have in an RV or a camper. So it's great. We've got to make so many great connections while we're going. I love it because as a person with ADHD, the best work that I do is not done in my own basement. It's not done in my living room. That's where I get distracted by everything. It's when I get to wake up to a new view every day. Now the view I have right now, that's a tractor or something. Not the greatest view, but it's different. I just spent 2 weeks straight in a national forest, self-isolating with my girlfriend to make sure that we didn't have coronavirus and we wouldn't give it to anybody else. So in the middle of nowhere, nothing around, didn't see a single person for 2 weeks. And we just got to work and grind. So it's great that we get to have the flexibility to wake up. It's going to be 100 here tomorrow. We're going up to Utah, like I said, and we just get to keep doing the same thing. So I don't have to make sure I make sure that I don't have the same view, for too long. And it keeps me motivated. It keeps me excited for business and life. And, I look outside, I'm like, okay, this is what I want to keep doing. I'm going to work harder because of it, because I don't want to stop waking up in the beaches or on the mountains or wherever the heck I want to wake up. And I work more hours, but better hours because of the focus and the excitement behind doing what it is that we're doing.
I think that'd be so fun. I have an obsession with tiny houses.
Yeah.
So I totally get it. I get it. Like, I want to get rid of everything, live in a little tiny space. I think that sounds so fun.
It's so fun. My girlfriend's mad about the amount of shoes that I have with me because I couldn't downsize everything. I've got like 12 pairs of shoes or something that I bring, and I don't need all of them, but like all the tennis shoes that, I play different sports. So I've got 2 pairs of soccer shoes, actual tennis shoes, basketball shoes. So I bring it all with me, and she's like, do we really need all this? I'm like, yeah. I have 2 soccer balls with me. She's like, do we need 2 soccer balls? I'm like, yes, we need 2 soccer balls. She's like, you can only do one at once. I was like, I know, but what if I want the other one at a different time? So I haven't been the best at downsizing. Go ahead.
Do you have one of those things on top of your van that holds stuff?
We've got something small up there. We're going to upgrade soon. Most of our stuff is inside. We've got my sports stuff is up top, and we've got a little trail or like a trailer hitch or a hitch carrier thing out back that holds our toilet and our oven, our gas oven stove kind of a thing. But other than that, everything is inside the van. That's pretty crazy.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a good life for sure.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to get into LinkedIn later because I'm going to tell people how like this van life has made my business grow even more because of some creative stuff that you can do on LinkedIn. So when we get into that, it'll be really, really fun.
Oh, I'm super excited for that part. So I read a statistic that 70% of entrepreneurs have ADHD.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. I think that's true. So, and yeah, I struggle with it. I actually got tested. I was off the charts. My score was literally higher than they measure. And I was like, yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
And I am so everywhere all the time. I have about 18 notebooks and it's nuts. And I don't even know how I ever get anything done. So I would like to hear your take on ADHD as an entrepreneur.
Yeah. So I wasn't diagnosed until I was 21 or 22 years old. So people in school were always wondering like why I was all over the place, why I didn't get the best grades and stuff like that, when you could put any kind of test in front of me and I would ace it. But it was a matter of like doing the homework and that kind of stuff. So yeah, same.
I'm here.
The best grade I ever got was a teacher, my senior year math class. She said, I don't care if you take notes. I don't care if you pay attention. She basically had a chest full of like different math games and puzzles and stuff that I was able to do the whole time. Straight A's, because I was able to occupy my brain, but I absorbed everything that she said. I mean, I was smart enough to understand everything that was going on, but I had the ability to learn in my own way that wasn't the same way that everybody else wanted me to learn, because I don't learn like everybody else. So that's a little bit about my background. So I went to college 5 different times, dropped out every single time. I don't know why I kept going back, but I was determined. And then when I finally got diagnosed, I got Adderall, and I went and I got all A's and a B, 1B, sorry, I don't want to lie, and a B. But it was just like, everybody's just like, okay, he's not stupid. He just like doesn't care about this stuff. And that was the biggest part of like learning. Like I love learning, and I'm constantly reading new articles. I'm constantly listening to new podcasts. Joe Rogan's probably my favorite podcast of all time because there's so much different stuff to learn in there. And I love reading books. I just didn't want to learn the stuff that people wanted to teach me that they said was important. I wanted to learn the things that I thought was important. So that's really cool about being a business owner. I can expand my own world of knowledge, and that's just going to make me more money as I go. I can add more services. I can be able to speak the lingo of people that I'm, contractors that I'm hiring, new employees that I'm hiring. I can chat with them. I can do all that kind of stuff, and it's been awesome. The last job I had was a teller at Huntington Bank. And this is when I knew entrepreneurship was right for me. It doesn't exactly relate to ADHD, but it was like when I took that break point, and then it's just been super awesome ever since. So I was working as a teller at a bank, and I had back problems because I tried to jump over a bush I tried to jump into a bush when I was a little kid, and I ended up jumping over it, and like chest first, like kind of like compressed my back. So I've always had like back issues. And then they said like, you can't sit down when the customers are here because it looks bad. Now I was behind like one of those old fashioned things like have like the bars on it. When you picture like old Western banks, like you couldn't see that I was sitting down. Like, you may know that I was sitting down, but like you couldn't see it. It didn't look bad to the customers, but I would leave work like in tears because I'd be standing up for so long and bending over, and it was so bad for my back. And they didn't care. They basically said, you got to get a doctor's note. You can't take time off to get a doctor's note, but you got to get a doctor's note just to be able to sit down while doing your job. Now, everything was within reach. I didn't need to get up unless I was walking, to count to the cash counter or whatever. And that's when I realized that I don't want to let somebody be able to decide that my pain is less important than a customer's viewpoint of me. So that was the big tipping point. And then while ADHD is great for entrepreneurship, it also has a lot of setbacks. One of the biggest setbacks that I face is just organization. When I first launched Hypersocial, which is my company back in 2016, I was bootstrapping. I didn't have the organization processes, and it was a mess. And I have one employee who's on the new Hypersocial basically since the rebrand and was on the old one. And she says it's 100 times better now because I was just I didn't put systems in place. I didn't organize everything. So it made it where we could only grow to a point before it was limited because we couldn't scale. We didn't have the processes. We didn't have this board written out. We didn't have all the client data go here into this folder and all that kind of stuff. And So if you're an ADHD entrepreneur, I highly recommend finding a partner who is more organized. Now, luckily for me, I happen to be dating her. She's my girlfriend. She got her master's in animal science in August, and then came and worked for Hypersocial. And that's when we decided to do the rebrand, and she's organized everything, and it's so much more smooth now. We have the ability to scale to, we just crossed 11K a month in recurring revenues since starting from 0 in October. But everything is so much more easily scalable because all the organization is in place. Because like I can talk to people all day, every day. I can sell people on, she basically says I can sell anything, whatever the cliche phrases are. You can sell ice to an Eskimo, whatever. Like that's
Right.
me, because I like to smile and I like to build relationships and I like to talk to people. But if the fulfillment end on the backside, if the customer relationship isn't as great as what you promise, they're not going to enjoy your company. And that's where I think it was, the struggle was for me a long time, back then with the old company, is because ADHD, we live on emotions. Like emotions are like, we can't control our emotions that well. So our emotions almost control us. So I get excited when I'm talking to people. I'm saying, yeah, we can do this, we can do that, we can do this. But I didn't relay that onto the back end team about how to do that kind of stuff. So the customer experience they got wasn't that great, and that capped us as well. Now Emily and all the people that she has that are, that she's working on that are coming on to Hypersocial and helping with the customer experience, well, they get exactly what I promise. So it's very, very important to organize your things as an entrepreneur, especially as an ADHD entrepreneur, because you've already got a disadvantage in organization that you've got to make sure that you make up for. Otherwise, you're not gonna have the success that you want. You're gonna be stressed. Things are gonna be disorganized. You're not gonna be able to find the files that you want to find, because you're gonna say, yeah, I've got that contract somewhere, and you have no idea where it is. So you're searching and trying to type things, and you're like, why did I save it as that after 2 hours of trying to find it? That's just a waste of your time. So it's So ADHD entrepreneurship, blessing, but also curse. It's been a wild journey for sure.
So what would you suggest to somebody that couldn't find a highly organized business partner?
Yeah, I mean, at some point, you can get your business to a point just being you and being happy and talking to people and understand that you have something that's good to provide, and you can get them to that point, and then you've got to bring in somebody. You've got to hire out somebody who's more organized than you to organize your processes. That's where I would go if I didn't have that. I would say, here's my disorganization, fix it. I would hire out as soon as I possibly could. Or I've dealt with a lot of ADHD entrepreneurs. I'm terrible with finances. You can give it to your mom, your dad, people who are more organized. They care about you, just to give you like the base of what organizing would look like. And then it's up to you to kind of fulfill it from there. But at least that will help you get started. So you make sure when you are bringing on new employees and things like that, it all goes smoothly. That's what I would recommend. Ask mom, ask dad, ask a friend, ask an organized person. Just say, hey dude, I've got a great idea. The business is growing, but I can't keep it organized. That's what I would recommend for sure.
That's a great idea. So I think the first hire any ADHD entrepreneur should make is a very organized assistant. And Braden, I hear that you are a LinkedIn ninja.
I don't know about the word ninja, but I do like LinkedIn. Do love LinkedIn.
Well, I am clueless about LinkedIn. I don't get it. It's like a foreign language to me. And I would love you to tell me and my listeners, how can we monetize LinkedIn? How can we make it work for us?
Sure. Yeah, I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna get into it with you guys. I'm gonna talk to you about what we tell our clients and everything that I recommend and that kind of stuff. So firstly, I know when people are like looking at LinkedIn from an outside perspective, they're like, it seems so boring and corporate. Is it a like boring corporate platform? Yes. But I think it's the stereotype of it being a corporate platform is what makes people make it into a corporate boring platform. Like people are like, it's supposed to be boring and corporate. Let's make it boring and corporate. Now me, I think actually my profile picture for the longest time was me in this tank top. It was just like, I'm in a tank top communicating with, accountants and finance people and, investors of investing millions of dollars in my tank top. I decided to say, screw the boring corporate platform and let's just be me. That's awesome. I think that's a good place that LinkedIn is heading right now. A crazy statistic real quick, just to get this out there. Since coronavirus, all this shutdown, LinkedIn's seen an increase in activity and usage of 55%. So if you're not on LinkedIn or you have one and you're not utilizing it properly, we're going to change that today. If by the
Awesome.
end of this, you don't see that you need to go, if you don't go over and get a LinkedIn and get more active on it, I'll punch you.
No punch from Braden.
Yeah, just an air punch. I've never thrown a real punch in my life, but so
Yeah,
the
me
reason that
neither.
we love the reason we love LinkedIn, and the reason that I love LinkedIn, and when I decided to rebrand in October, we put a big focus on LinkedIn. Every single one of our clients, we're running a LinkedIn account for them, and we love it because instead of cold emails that are out there, which are very scripted and they're very not personalized, and Facebook ads, which usually run from businesses, with logos rather than people. Well, with LinkedIn, we're creating relationships face to face. It's profile picture to profile picture. It's name to name. And then wherever your name is seen, you also have a headline right there. So it's everywhere you see Braden Wallake, you see my profile picture, you'll see underneath of it, entrepreneur, marketer, and I help B2Bs make marketing and sales campaigns or something like that. I forget what it is.
Yeah.
But now it's just constantly a branding aspect in their head. Every time they see my name, they know what I do. I focus on making my headline kind of that. But now instead of door-to-door knocking, which is the old way of doing business-to-business sales or anything like that, instead of trying to go and get to the gatekeepers, well, we can go straight to their inboxes on LinkedIn, where they're already consuming business content, where the C-level executives are writing stuff, and they're especially right now with coronavirus, they're all everybody's on there just making sure their businesses stay afloat. They're trying to get like help and that kind of stuff. So my LinkedIn has seen a huge increase in the last few weeks, where I actually had 22 sales calls from my own LinkedIn last week, which was crazy. Yeah, really crazy. And it's the same level this week. I mean, I'll probably be a little bit less because I'm trying to schedule a little bit less. But LinkedIn is so powerful because we're not just like a cold email. You send an email, hey, do you want to get on to chat about our calls? LinkedIn is a whole different platform where you connect with somebody, and now you've got the ability to build up the relationship, and it can take as long as you want. Take your time, give them value, do that kind of stuff, where now instead of trying to cold email the CEO of, let's say, Apple, now we can say, okay, I'm going to connect with the CEO of Apple on LinkedIn, and I'm going to give them, hey, here's a blog post I think would be super helpful to you that I wrote on our website as a CEO of Apple, that kind of stuff. And now we're taking our time, and even if they're not ready to buy our product or our service right now, they're still connected with you on LinkedIn. So they see your posts, they see the stuff later on. So they can, you're continuing to build your position as the expert, or as, your company as the expert kind of thing. It's a way to just get that process to go much longer term, and now instead of trying to get them to sign up to your mailing list, your email list, and, email the crap out of them until they, until either they die or they sign up for your services. That's basically the two options. Now we just connect with them on LinkedIn, and we just continue to give value, and we continue to just, put client wins and, our own stories, and we make ourselves personal, and people come back. I've had so many people come back that I've connected with like October, November, December, are coming back right now and be like, Braden, I know I didn't respond to your messages before. I want to chat about your services. Like, I want to get on here and chat. So that's why we love it, because it's a way on a place that people are already, the business people who are a lot, dare I say, I don't want to say better than people on Facebook, but where they're spending their time, like they've built businesses that are successful. So if you're trying to sell a service or a product to businesses, you can target based on how many employees they have. So, if they've got a certain number of employees, they can afford your services. So instead of trying to, sort that out on Facebook, where you can no longer do ads based on income and things like that, well, we can do that on LinkedIn. So everything that we swear by behind Hypersocial has to do with LinkedIn Sales Navigator, which is a premium version of LinkedIn. If anybody's listening to this right now, they do have a free trial. So if you go to your LinkedIn, look at the top right, you'll see like try LinkedIn Premium for 30 days. Click on that. They'll ask you a question like, what kind of premium are you looking for? Because they've got a few different versions. Click on the one that says, I want more leads and sales. Click that, try it for free for 30 days. So the reason that if I were to take anybody who is in the B2B world and selling, or even B2C, if you guys can get really clever, if you're selling something and you can figure out a way to word that and point it towards, CEOs, owners, founders, you can use it for B2C as well. But the reason I swear by LinkedIn Sales Navigator is two reasons. One, it allows us to filter our search results a lot more. So compared to a regular LinkedIn where you can only search first and second degree connections, only people that you're connected with, or connections of connections, Sales Navigator allows you to open up third plus degree connections. So you can find anybody in a city that you're after. We can filter things based on employee headcount, how many employees that company has, annual revenue, title, like current title. So CEO, founder, if you're a marketer and you want to go towards bigger companies, you're going to go after their CMO, that kind of stuff. The people that you want to target, we're going straight to the decision makers, and we know that we can target those people. What we do for my LinkedIn account, which is really, really cool, is because we're traveling constantly to new cities, I will get my LinkedIn account and I'll say, because you can also filter by geography. So before I came to Phoenix, about 3 weeks beforehand, I started reaching out to my targeted decision makers in Phoenix saying, hey, I'm coming to Phoenix. I would love to meet up. Now, I had to change my campaign because of coronavirus. So I'm basically saying, I'd love to get on a call now kind of a thing. Offering them a webinar as well. But just a way to connect with these people. So Sales Navigator allows you to send up to 100 connection requests every single day. So you customize the connection request, and now you've got these people. And as soon as they accept your connection request, they're giving you permission to send them messages, to give them value, to do the stuff that you wish that you could do and take the time to do via your cold emails, but you just can't. So what we focus on and what we do for our clients is essentially we take that connecting off of their shoulders. We find their target audience, we connect for them up to 100 people every single day, but then we write a 5-message like campaign that after somebody connects, 2 to 3 days later, they'll get a message. And depending on the client, it's, they're all very different, but that's just a value message. And if they don't respond, then we give them another message, 7 days after the connection, then 14 days and 30 days and 60 days. So this is the ability, like I said, to take your time, build the long-term relationships. If you have a blog post, if you're say you're a marketer for only finance people, so you target industry finance, which you can do via Sales Navigator, send up to 100 connection requests every single day. You're going to get an X percentage that connect. Then take the time and say, hey, I wrote this article on what kind of new stipulations there are for finance restrictions for marketing, kind of a thing. That way, it's just your way of saying, I'm experienced in the marketing world, in the finance industry. You can trust me. It's a value given approach instead of hey, I can help you grow your finance company if you schedule 20 to 30 minutes with me, kind of a thing. So that's where a lot of people go. Yeah, that's where a lot of people go wrong on LinkedIn. Is they get connected and they're like, I got a pitch. Like, I just got a pitch, and you're excited about your services, but you've got to separate yourselves from all the other people who are on LinkedIn who are giving them the pitch as well. So take the time, build the long-term connections. That's what we do for our clients, and the results have been incredible. Like I said, just using my LinkedIn account. So everywhere I'm going, so I'm going to Phoenix, and then, as we're going up to Utah, I'm going to target the business-to-business owners in Utah. Then I'm going to, go from there. At some point, I'd like to meet up with them, but right now we're just doing these Zoom calls, just like this one. And but you can, I forget where I was going with this. ADHD brain, guys. So I have no idea.
Question, if that's a good time to ask.
Yes,
how do you decide who to make connections with? That's always been kind of confusing to me. And I get hundreds of connection requests. I just accept them all. Is that good? Is that bad?
I accept all of them too, unless I just know they're gonna sell me something really awful. If it's just something like, I don't know, I don't need marketing, I don't need outsourcing. Like if I know that that's kind of what they're after, I don't accept them. But other than that, even competitors and stuff, like people who would also do LinkedIn lead generation, they do it worse. But I'll accept theirs. There's just things you can learn from everybody. You can have, compared to Facebook, where we can only have 5,000 Facebook friends, LinkedIn, you can have, I think, 26,000 connections. So you've got a lot to play with. Yeah, exactly. So I accept all of them. But in terms of figuring out who to send it to, well, if you use these filters to break it down, you can save that search. So every day you come back, so today you'll send out 100 connection requests. Well, you save that search, tomorrow you go to page 2. You can send out 100 more connection requests. Then the day after, you can go to page 3. So you can save that same search. So mine is all the industries, I forget all the industries I target, marketing and advertising and finance and, bookkeeping and CPAs and all that stuff in an area. Well, every single day I come back and I can send 100 more requests, but I save it so that I know that I'm just going through these organized people who are my target audience, and that's how I decide who I'm sending requests to. Now, I don't discriminate from there. If they manage to get themselves into that filtered search results, so I'll target 1 to 10 or 11 to 50 employee companies. I'm targeting the CEO, CMO, founder, owner, maybe even president, and then based on the area, I'll go through that whole list before I go somewhere else. So.
Wow.
LinkedIn allows you, so if you get a search that's bigger than 2,500, you need to kind of break things down a little bit. So maybe you take that search, the overall search, and take it and make, half of it, only 1 to 10 employee companies. Then as long as you're under 2,500, because LinkedIn limits the amount of pages of results that you can get to 125 people pages. So you can only have the first 2,500 results. So if your results are bigger than 2,500, you're not gonna be able to get through everybody. So you need to break that, split your search into a couple different searches. So whether you change it, split it by their title, or whether you split it by maybe even further by location or by the company size or that kind of stuff. That's a way to break that down and make sure that you can get through everybody who is that targeted search. Otherwise, you just won't be able to get through 5,000 of one search because you just can't see them.
So can I ask you a specific question about who I would send contact
of course.
requests to? Okay, so I'm an international speaker and a manifesting and influence coach. And my audience is 88% women, entrepreneurs that are either they are fledgling speakers themselves, or they're some kind of a coach or energy healer, or have an MLM company. So they want to grow their influence so they can grow their clients. So how would I search?
Am I allowed to share my screen and we do an example search right now?
Let's do it. I think I have to change a setting really quick. I'm going to make you a co-host.
Sweet.
So then you'll be able to. Okay,
all right,
got it.
Awesome. So here we go. So I've got Sales Navigator here. So I'm going to start with lead filters.
Lead filters. Okay.
So there's 2 different kinds of searches that you can do on LinkedIn and on Sales Navigator. One is leads, which are people, and one is accounts, which are the companies. So I'm going to target by lead filters because you're saying coaches and stuff like that. So a good industry will be, I think, professional training and coaching.
Oh yeah.
So for you, you can target 2nd degree connections, 3rd degree connections. Now, I'm not going to put these because we're going to have different 2nd and 3rd degree connections. Let's focus on an area. So what state are you in?
Utah.
Oh, nice.
I know you're coming up here. I'm excited.
I am. Holy moly.
And
then, so that's just professional training and coaching. Probably also health, wellness, and fitness. So we can do title, and they're probably, kind of earlier on CEOs, if they're kind of getting into the speaker world, they're probably not, or, owners and stuff like that, they probably don't have too big of a company yet. So let's do company head count 1 to 10, 11 to 50, maybe even 51 to 200, just so we want to put that out there. So let's put owner, founder, co-founder. So then yours is a little bit different because you said 88% women. LinkedIn doesn't allow you to discriminate your search based on gender.
Okay, that's
but
fine.
We can also put in here business coach. So you can do a search without actually no, you can do business coach, that kind of thing. And so then let's just see what we come up with. So let's say search Utah, health, wellness, and fitness, professional coaching and training. So we've got co-founder, COO, owner, director. So these are people who are going to want to be speaking. But then I have one more even better idea. So if I go to all filters, I can say, I can find people who are in specific groups. So I can say, they're CEO speaking. I'm trying to think of what kind of groups these people would join. Public speaking. Here we go. Public speaking and presentation skills for professional speakers. Professional speaking. Yeah. So public.
Oh, and business growth. That's a good one.
So
public speaking for business growth.
Yeah, for business growth, that kind of stuff. So we're gonna get rid of Utah for that because you're not gonna have enough. Now, I would expand this further, but they're just doing a quick search. This is what it gives us. So we've got in the United States, health, wellness, and fitness, professional training and coaching, companies headcount, business coach, co-founder, owner, founder that are in these 2 groups. We got 389 results. So business development manager / facilitator / coach at Erickson Coaching International. Founder and CEO at Soloria. Propel Training and Development. Medicine health coach at Be Well Health Coaching. Owner / certified business coach. Founder. Business development coach and keynote speaker. So look right there. Just in the U.S., that's just with a quick search, we've got your targeted search filtered.
That's awesome.
I don't always use groups, but groups can sometimes, like, you know what people are searching for and joining on LinkedIn, because that's what they're interested in. So we can use that as like an additional filter. Now, if you were to become a client of ours, we would do a lot more in-depth search and break it down even further, but get you a wider area of people that could potentially be your ideal client. But that was just a quick search that we just did today.
That's awesome.
So,
wow.
Yeah, I can send you the screenshot of that after, just so you can have it. But
okay.
So
that sales navigator, that looks really helpful.
So helpful. The two biggest things that it does is that filter results, but then compared to a free version, they let you send up to 100 connection requests every single day. If you have a free LinkedIn account, they don't let you do that. They give you they say, no, you can only do X number per day before they give you warnings and, give you temporary bans and stuff like that. But it's basically, if you have Sales Navigator, LinkedIn almost turns the other way, not turns the other cheek, just turns the other way, and kind of turns a blind eye to it and says, yeah, you can send up to 100. Don't go more than 100, but you can send 100 a day, and just pay us for it. That's all they care about. Just pay them for it. It's a way of them building up the people who want to use their platform the most, instead of saying, no, limit yourselves, like Instagram kind of did when they kind of tore apart their platform. They were like, no, if you're using this a lot and you're doing any kind of automation or anything like that, we're shutting you down, because you're taking away from our paid ads. Well, LinkedIn was like, well, there's more than just paid ads to our platform. There's Sales Navigator, there's regular business premium, and there's also like Recruiter, which I've never used because I haven't employed that many people, but there's Recruiter to be able to find your targeted employees for your company as well. So, but for anybody who's a business owner, I would say, I know I'm in the business that I'm in, so I'm trying to preface that. Sales Navigator is the most important $80 that I think that anybody could spend on a software, in terms of being pretty early on in a company or needing to grow or having a good foundation and ready to grow to that next level. I wouldn't put my $80 anywhere else. I had a call last week, and it was a coach actually. And she was like, if your sister was a coach, would you also recommend, and she was trying to find her target audience and, business coaching and that kind of stuff. Would you recommend her to go on LinkedIn Sales Navigator? And I was like, well, one, my sister's too dumb to be a coach, but two, if she was, then yes, I would say with my, on my life, go put your money here, because I care about people's success, and LinkedIn Sales Navigator is a huge, huge place to get really, really awesome ROI. We've seen clients as up as 3,000%-ish ROI from working with us for 5.5 months. So it's really crazy and really powerful.
That's insane.
Yeah.
So if you had like an online course, would that be good to use that for?
Definitely. If your course is teaching business owners something, or CEOs, or even if you have like an HR course to help people with their HR people, like you can find the HR managers and presidents and vice presidents and that kind of stuff. So courses, I wouldn't put it anywhere else. Now again, you've got to figure out a way to make the messaging make sense, so you're not just connecting, and then say, hey, I've got a course I can sell, $297 right now, kind of thing. But instead of, if you have any tripwires or any free content to give them, just build up that relationship, get them into the funnel, or whatever. Give value where you can, ask them questions, get them on sales calls. It's 100% an awesome opportunity for courses as well.
So when you said you would send them an article that you wrote, would you send them a link to your blog, or would you copy and paste the article? Or
send them a link. Send them a link, because a lot of LinkedIn is consumed mobilely now. So writing messages that are just too damn long, which I get them, and I'm just like, I'm never reading that kind of a thing. So we just put it into a link just to say, hey, you can check it out. Sometimes, you can post it on LinkedIn, and then that the link is to an article on LinkedIn that you've posted. Or you can put it to your website, because then you just get their traffic. And if you have, your tracking and any kind of ads that you want to run to them or anything like that, retargeting ads and stuff, it's just a way to get them over to the website from there, kind of a thing. So just put
LinkedIn, does it discriminate against the links that take you out of LinkedIn at all?
It doesn't. That's the craziest thing.
What?
So unlike Facebook, unlike Instagram, you can't even post links and pictures, but they do not discriminate. Your posts that have links in them, all they care is the quality of the content. That's what they want. They know people are going to keep coming back to LinkedIn if they keep getting good content posted out there. So just posting any and every single link, every link you find, I almost swore. Screw that. Instead, the valuable stuff out there, the stuff that your ideal target audience wants to read, put that stuff out there. Now, in terms of what we do and what we recommend is going straight to the inboxes. Even Facebook can't discriminate against links in there. It's just sitting in your inbox. It's just chronological order. Your inbox is, the most recent messages to, the oldest messages, kind of a thing. So compared to a lot of people, when they say, we're getting over on LinkedIn, they're like, okay, let's go run some LinkedIn ads. And I'm like, well, let's not, because you got to have your ad running during that time. It costs a lot more. The cost per acquisition and the cost per lead are extremely high compared to using Sales Navigator. And then you've got to make sure that they're active. So not everybody's active on LinkedIn every single day, but if you send them a message to their inbox, they may not see it today, but they may see it tomorrow, and it's still going to be there. You're not paying extra for it to try and be targeted to them a couple different times, kind of a thing. It's just one message. It's there. They're going to see it. It's unread in their inbox. They're going to look at it. And it's so easy. It's so easy.
That sounds awesome. You're making me much less scared of LinkedIn right now.
There's no reason to be scared of LinkedIn. If I can build so when I rebranded in October, just until recently, I had no salespeople. It was just me. And 98% of our sales during that time came from my own LinkedIn account. Now, I got benefits of I got to move to new places, so I got to use that as like a kind of an icebreaker. Hey, I'm traveling full time in my mobile camper van. I'm heading to Phoenix. I would love to connect. That's a super easy way to get people to accept the connection request. But you can come up with different creative ways. Once you're done in Utah or Salt Lake City, and you're going down to Arizona, you say, hey, I see you're an entrepreneur or a business owner in Phoenix. We're not saying that I'm there. We're not saying that you're there, kind of a thing. But it's just a way to break the ice, and they see the city that they live in. They're like, oh, yeah, okay, let's connect let's connect further. So just using my account was when we went from 0 to probably right around the 9.5K a month mark for my company. So just using my own account to sell our services.
That's amazing.
I did all the sales calls. Yeah. So we've had, people that we've worked with who have made it. They worked with us for about 5.5 months before we put the case study together, and they closed $115,500 worth of guaranteed revenue from LinkedIn. So, and that's just, it's just the exact approach that I just told everybody to take right here.
Oh my gosh.
Just using that exact approach. We just help people scale it. So we just do the connection request, we write the messaging, and then we just let our clients take over. After people respond, they have questions, that kind of stuff. So
oh my gosh,
we did all
that's
that
really
for them.
Cool.
It's crazy. It's super crazy.
Wow. So if somebody wanted to connect with you and maybe hire you, which sounds like an amazing idea, how would they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so you guys are more than welcome to connect with me on LinkedIn, Braden Wallake, Braden Wallake. You're also welcome to connect with my dog. He has his own LinkedIn account. You can chat with him. Roscoe Wallake. And I know everybody on this knows how to spell Roscoe because it's Roscoe. Wallake. He also has a LinkedIn account. But the best way to do, or you can email me, Braden at gohypersocial.com. Those are the best ways to get a hold of me.
That's awesome. So I can't remember, if we talked about this, is there, do you have any free gift or freemium or anything to offer my listeners? I think I forgot to ask you that.
Sure. Yeah. For anybody listening, sure. Yeah. We didn't talk about it, but I've got something in my back pocket just in case, just in case the podcast was unprepared. Just kidding.
Right
yeah,
here.
that's right. Preparation is a hard thing. I know. Right? I've been trying to run a webinar for forever, and it's still not in place because I just like all that preparation time. Like, somebody please write this for me.
Right? Oh my gosh.
So if you guys connect with me on LinkedIn and you shoot me a message and say that you heard me from this podcast, I'll happily hop on a 30-minute call with you and do what I just did with Kelly, which is show her, like, find a upfront search of her target audience. Using my LinkedIn Sales Navigator, where you guys don't have to have it yet. I can just do the search just so you guys can see that your target audience is there. Happy to get on a call, show you all it is, do your search, break that down so it makes sense. So you're like, yeah, okay, this is a place for me to go and a place for me to spend my time. If you sell a service or a product to business owners, you need LinkedIn. You need to be active on it. You need to be doing active outreach, and you need to just be getting into inboxes. We've gotten to the world where business to business sales, we're no longer, because I used to be an insurance agent for Aflac, and we did a lot of business. I was sold only stuff to businesses, and I was constantly knocking on doors, constantly trying to follow up with them. Well, now we've got a chance to just do it electronically. So now our calls, instead of your sales calls, instead of going into their business to do them, you can do it from your kitchen. You can do it from your bedroom. You can do it from your living room. So you get to sit and do this prospecting all day, every day, and this essentially door-to-door knocking with messages in your PJs, or I always wear a tank top.
So much easier.
Yeah, so it's so much easier. You can scale it a lot faster. You don't have to be scared because you're typing out a message. You're still kind of hidden behind your message. Right. So you can make mistakes, and it's a process, because now instead of what you're limited to be able to drive to and use all that gas, you can just have your LinkedIn take you to a new city. All right, I've gone through all of Phoenix. Time to move on to Salt Lake City.
I love that.
So it's a way to be able to scale your company big time. We've got salespeople in Atlanta, Detroit, Ireland, sorry, lights went off, that are all just using the same exact thing. For if you are in the EU, happen to be listening, it is GDPR compliant because they are accepting your connection request. So compared to sending an email out where they haven't given you permission to send them an email, it's LinkedIn. It's a social media platform. So as soon as they accept your connection request, they're allowing you to send them messages. So now
that's really good.
You've got a way to do the cold prospecting in Europe without trying to break any laws, without getting your huge fines and fees and stuff for not being GDPR compliant. Now is a way to, this is a good way to do that as well.
That's really good to know. And I have a lot of listeners in the UK because I've spoken in London 3 times.
Okay,
so,
awesome.
Yeah, that's good information.
Awesome. Go Chelsea for all the London fans.
So to get that call with you, they would probably do best by emailing you?
Yeah, email or add me on LinkedIn. Just say that you heard me on the Queen of Manifesting, and that they can that we can have actually hop on the call, and I'll send over the link to schedule with me, and yeah, they'll get 30 minutes of my time just for listening. So
that's amazing. Thank you. That's really good.
Of course.
So any last words on LinkedIn or anything else before we go?
Let's see. I think that, I'm coming up with it. I know all of you listeners, you're sitting here like waiting. They're like, what's coming? And I think it's not going to be that profound as you guys think. I would just encourage you guys to just, if you're not certain, just let me get on a call with you just so I can explain it. And I'm gonna be honest with you one way or the other, because I don't want to. If you decide to hire our company, like, I'm not going to tell you that we can do the work for you if I don't think that we can, because we don't have any long-term contracts. We just want to work with people that we know we can get results for. We want you to work with us because we're continuing to get an ROI. So if you get on a call with me, I'll tell you whether or not that we can find your target audience on there. I'm happy to say, yes, this is a good idea for you, or no, it's not a good idea for you. So you guys can save your hassle of all the research time and everything else. I will just say yes or no. And, then we can find the target audience from there. So it's worth a shot, and it's a huge ROI for people. So I definitely highly recommend it. Whether you hire us or not, go get yourself on LinkedIn, go make some posts, go fall on your face, make mistakes, say things that make people, frustrated or mad, and, whatever, just go get out there, put yourself out there. And it's a great way to do it, and in a way that's not expensive, but you can really, really find your target audience the way that you need to.
That's awesome. Okay, well, this was super, super helpful. Very educational. I loved it. So everybody, I'm going to put Braden's contact information in the show notes to this episode. So if you don't remember his email or his LinkedIn, it's okay. It'll be in the show notes, along with his dog's LinkedIn. That's so cute. I should make one for my dog. And take advantage of that free call. That's amazing. So you guys, thanks for listening. Braden, thank you so much for coming on and helping us figure out the mysterious land of LinkedIn.
Yes, Kelly, of course. Thanks so much for having me.
You're welcome. All right, that is it for this episode of the Queen of Manifesting. I will see you all next time.
Yes,
for sure.
100%.
Man, yeah. Cool. Okay, good. That's good advice. So let me see how are we doing on time? Okay, I think we're going to take a little break, and then when we get back, we're going to dive into LinkedIn. I'm super excited about LinkedIn because I don't understand it, so I'm super excited to learn more about it. Okay, so stay tuned, and we will be right back with Braden Wallake of Hypersocial.
Nailed it.
Coming to you from his van in Phoenix. Yeah, okay, all right. So we'll be right back. So stay tuned.